Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. In an interview with Hopkins County Chief Investigator Corley Weatherford at the Sheriff's Office Tuesday, Virginia Ann Tompkins, age 59, of Winthrop, Arkansas, admitted to theft of more than $2,500 but less than $30,000. Tompkins admitted to stealing money from her previous employer, Joe Bob's, in Como. Evidence obtained by Weatherford from management of the convenience store shows an estimated $17,000 taken over the course of her employment. She admitted to stealing less than the reported amount by the employer. The date of the offense discovered is March 1st of this year. Tompkins is in Hopkins County Jail being held on a $10,000 bond. Failure to signal 100 feet from a turn led to the stop of a 2013 Nissan Altima at the corner of Davis Street and Fleming Street. Candace Dawn Williams, age 40, of Cumbie, immediately began talking to the Hopkins County deputy about a money transaction between her and another person. A search of the vehicle revealed U.S. currency and a receipt for the money. The search also revealed a glass pipe commonly used to smoke methamphetamine and residue of a crystal-like substance believed to be meth. The traffic stop was within 1,000 feet of a daycare center. Williams is in Hopkins County Jail charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, under 1 gram in a drug-free zone. She's being held on a $10,000 bond. On this date in 1963, John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Lee Harvey Oswald not only assassinated Kennedy, he also killed Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit on that day. Tippit and his widow were honored by the city of Sulphur Springs. She is a resident of Sulphur Springs. Mayor John Sellers proclaimed Wednesday, November 22, 2017, Marie and J.D. Tippit Day.
This is a day that any of us that are over about 55 years old remember personally, probably. And it's a day anybody younger than that has known about. And as a lot of you know, I'm a student of history. And I was so excited to know that we had such a great citizen of our city, and we wanted to commemorate you and your husband today on this day. And I would like to read you a proclamation from the city of Sulphur Springs. Whereas J.D. Tippit was born on the 18th of September near Clarksville, Texas, joined the United States Army in July 1944, earning the Bronze Star, and returning home in June of 1946. And whereas J.D. Tippit married his high school sweetheart, Marie Frances Gasway, on December the 26th, 1946, and had 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. And whereas in January 1950, he enrolled in the Veterans Administration Vocational Training School in Bogota, Texas. But in 1952, moved his family to Dallas, where he was hired as a patrolman for the Dallas Police Department and received many honors throughout his 11 years of service, partly due to his uncanny sixth sense to locate and spot a criminal. And whereas on this day, in 1963, the president of this great nation, John F. Kennedy, was assassinated in Dallas, Texas by Lee Harvey Oswald. And whereas on this very same day, Patrolman Tippit was on duty, and at approximately 1:11 to 1:14 p.m., Tippit was driving in the area of East 10th and Patton Streets, where he pulled alongside a man that resembled the dispatch description of Lee Harvey Oswald. And whereas they exchanged words through an open vent window, and afterwards Tippit opened his car door, walked toward the front of the car, at which time Oswald fired 4 shots in rapid succession, killing Patrolman Tippit. And whereas it is fitting and proper that J.D. Tippit's actions and ultimate sacrifice while protecting the public will never be forgotten. And whereas J.D. Tippett's widow, Marie Tippett, is a resident of Sulphur Springs, Texas, and on November the 22nd, 2017, marks the 54th anniversary of J.D. Tippett's murder and President Kennedy's assassination, it is only fitting to present this recognition. Now, therefore, I, John A. Sellers, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the 22nd of November 2017 as Marie and J.D. Tippett Day in the city of Sulphur Springs. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Then also, I would like to present you with a yellow rose for Texas.
Oh, thank you.
And then, there it is. At the city, we have a commemorative silver coin that we present only on very special occasions. And with you being a citizen of the Sulphur Springs of Texas, we would love for you to have this coin and cherish it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That means so much.
Well, thank you. What an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Would you like to say something?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Well, I'm thankful that my pastor is here today. And like him, he's always saying, maybe I should talk too long. Well, when I do, y'all can start working. But this is such a pleasure to be able to be here, and I want to thank each one of you for coming. It's overwhelming to see such love shown and remember Jetty and honor him. And honoring him, we're honoring all the officers that still in line of duty. The guy that's out there patrolling today, he needs to be remembered. And this is a reminder to the people about them too. And that's what it's all about, is remember, and God help us to remember the past, and that's what happens to our futures, when we remember the past. So, it's just, I didn't know what I was going to feel like when I moved to Sulphur Springs. I grew up out in Foster, but I've been in Dutch for all those years, and it's going to be a major change. But it was a very pleasant one. Everybody's friends, thank you for just accepting my family and welcoming us, and it's been such a joy to be here. And I'm grateful to all of you that came today. Little did I know when the J.D. Tippett came home for lunch that day, that was a very unusual thing. I felt like that God just gave him a special blessing and let him come home that day, because he didn't used to get to do that. And when he called me, I was babysitting a little boy, and I had to go pick up Alan at school, and finally Daddy said he was home. And still at the school, because it was announced at the school that his dad was killed. And he didn't need to hear that part back. So I was glad he was home. But Jetty called and said, could you do some lunch for me? And I said, you bet. And he said, as soon as possible. So you'd be surprised how fast that you can do some fried potatoes and another chicken sandwich that I got done. And so we got to see him one last time and kick him back. But the love of my life was gone. And I know how the other widows feel that lost their husbands. When he died, I kept searching for somebody that could just understand how I felt. And it was so good for some of the widows then to come to me. And I got to meet with a bunch of them last week. And some of the ones I hadn't seen since Jetty died. And so that was good. And we get to share memories and stories, and that was good. So But to be left to raise 3 children by myself was overwhelming. And so I understand how that is, too, because Curtis used to sit in that window, and when he knew it was time for Dad to drive down the driveway, so he'd be really be sure and get to go out and greet him when he got there. So I had to watch him go through that same ritual, because all of a sudden, little kids just don't forget. It's just still there. I think he had all kinds of dealing with the same as the other 2 did, even though he was 4 and almost 5. He still remembers things that I discovered when he tells me things sometimes now that I didn't realize he remembered, because he knew how to come home. He'd go with Jetty every time Jetty went to the store when he was home, and so he would go to the store with him. And then Jetty would make him tell him how to go home. So when I started driving without him, he'd tell me, Mom, you have to turn here. So now I'm telling him, Curtis, slow down. Turn here, whatever. And he's having to put up with me doing that. So I appreciate his patience in that. It's all how much he takes care of me and loves me. And I've been really blessed to have a husband for 17 years. It was a Christian man that we read the Bible at home. And the kids had to sit and listen. So when we went to church and we came to Sunday school, and so they decided that I should teach a class and for young people, for kids about 8 years old. And I think I was a little early. It takes a while to really adjust to being alone. So I wanted to tell you something about our life, because when I go to hear someone speak, I like to know something about them and how their life is gone. And so as a police family, you know, it's like the preacher's kids, you know, and your family, you're always scrutinized. But our family was particularly scrutinized because she was killed by the killer of the president. So I got followed around the camera all the time, and that was totally different to what, you know, normally would have happened had it not been he was killed by the killer of the president. And I never stopped to think about it would be a historical thing. It was just that I lost him. I had to live without him. So with God's help and lots of prayer, that I made it through. And when I'm asked for by the other brothers how I made it this long, you know, I made it mine. And I'm thankful to God has spared my life, because surely he has something for me to do right for God. I don't know what that is. Because usually I'm shy and don't want to say anything. But I just feel such a peace with you guys that I felt like talking. And it was the life of a police family is one that's it's hard, because you know these policemen that are good officers, they're called to their job. They're not just, you know, working for the dollar. Jenny liked his work. He felt like that he was helping people as well as getting some people off the street that didn't need to be there. And so he did a lot of things to help others, and which made me really proud of him. Anyway, through the years, it was really a difficult time for me with the kids because it was just so hard for each one of us. But like I say, with God's help and with a lot of prayer, we have made it through. And I want to ask you, is there anything that anybody has been curious about that would like to know or have it set straight? Because I've gotten so many things that I want to say, hey, no, that's not the way it happened. And if there's someone that has a question, I will be able to answer that for you.
I would like to be able to interview you later if you'll allow that. Yeah.
Well, no, I just thought it might see if there's something somebody wanted to know and that needed to be corrected.
Right.
When they kept trying to get me to write books, and I'd say, well, I'm not doing it for publicity.
Right.
The only way I do this is if I felt God was reading me and it would be helpful to somebody else. And that's the only way I was able to do anything. So, it's such a pleasure to be here and such an honor and that you have did this for me and Jody and Chris, the family. And they have been such a blessing. And their children now. And such many friends already that I just feel such a part of you guys. And I thank you.
Thank you.
So it's really, we have something that we would like to share with you.
Well, we
Now
really,
you come up.
we were really taken aback. Remember, Officer Gilmar called and said what y'all was wanting to do and everything, and we just didn't want to come here and be presented and honored or whatever. We wanted to present something to the city. This was a poster that was made of all the badges that has been used in Dallas, and starting from 1881 through, and then these are well, this is my father's pistol that he carried and he had when he was killed, and my mom signed on that on there. And these two pistols are by Jim Lavelle, and he was the police officer that was handcuffed to Oswald, had the white hat in the picture, and he's 95 years old.
And 97.
97. He still drives, okay?
Wow.
And he can remember everything. And he talks for 30 minutes standing at the podium about what he did that day
He did last week.
just recently. And so anyway, he signed it, and so we wanted to present this to the city, and y'all can all figure out what you want to, where you want to display or have it. So
Thank you so much. Right back here right now.
Well, I was really proud of that. I signed, I don't know how many hundred of them.
Thank you very much.
And so, it's been such a pleasure, and thank y'all so much. And God bless each one of you for coming and for praying for us. Continue that. We need your prayers.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. What an honor for us to be in your presence.
Christus Mother Frances Hospital in Sulphur Springs has welcomed Paul Michael Hines to serve the patients in Northeast Texas. Dr. Hines, a surgeon, joined Christus Mother Frances in Sulphur Springs from his practice in McCurtain Memorial Hospital in Idabel, Oklahoma. Here's Don Julian with sports.
The Wildcats basketball team remained unbeaten as they won a defensive struggle against Rockwall on the road, 53-39 Tuesday night. The Wildcats are now 4-0 for the season, with 3 of their wins coming against Class 6A teams. The Wildcats started slowly Tuesday and trailed after the first quarter, 13-11. In the second quarter, the Wildcats allowed the Yellow Jackets only 4 points. The Wildcats scored the first 10 points in the quarter and ended up with 16 to take a 27-17 lead into halftime. Rockwall trimmed the lead to 7 points by outscoring the Wildcats 16-13 in the third quarter, but still the Wildcats led 40-33 after 3. The Wildcats put the game away by outscoring the Yellow Jackets 13-6 in the fourth quarter. Wildcats defense put the clamps on 2 Division I players. A Kansas commit scored only 6 points, and a DePaul recruit had only 3 points. Keyston Willis and Victor E. Walker both scored 17 points for the Wildcats. God's gift Azadenma had 9 points. Michael Jefferson and Diedrich Godbolt both scored 4 points. Xavier Cork put in 2 points. The Wildcats did a good job of rebounding and collected 20 offensive rebounds. The Wildcats will take the Thanksgiving break and then will resume play next Tuesday at Denison. After a pair of games where the Lady Cats basketball team scored in the 30s, they poured in the points against Paris, taking a 71-41 win on the road Tuesday afternoon. The Lady Cats had 22 steals and forced 29 turnovers to get lots of transition baskets. That helped the Lady Cats shoot 50% for the game. The Lady Cats scored the game's first 10 points, and they led after one quarter 21-8. They outscored Paris in the second quarter 14-10 to take a 35-18 lead into halftime. The Lady Cats also outscored Paris 19-7 in the third quarter and 17-16 in the fourth quarter. Kaylee Jefferson led the Lady Cats with 21 points, and she had a team-high 11 rebounds. Sadavia Porter added 19 points. Autumn Tanton got off to a quick scoring start early and ended up with 14 points. Jamia Hall came off the bench to score 8 points. Terea Rose scored 6 points on 2 successful three-pointers, and Porter also made a three-pointer. Amani Taylor had 3 points. The Lady Cats are now 4-0 for the season. They will take a break for Thanksgiving, and they'll return to play next Tuesday at Idabel, Oklahoma. Lady Cats coach Jeff Chapman was the head coach at Idabel before coming to Sulphur Springs. The Saltillo Lions basketball team is now 1-3 for the season after a loss at Avery Tuesday. Avery won 57-43. Avery jumped out in front 15-6 after the first quarter. Avery maintained a 9-point lead at 27-18 at halftime. Avery increased their lead to 11 points, 39-28, after 3 quarters. The Lions were led by Chris Bokhorst, who had 15 points. Walker McGill added 12 points. Matt Gurley and Branson McGill both scored 5 points. Mike Simmons, Levi Hoover, and Lyle Bench all had 2 points. The Lions play next at home against Celeste next Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Saltillo Lady Lions took a loss Monday, but bounced back to win on Tuesday. The Lady Lions lost a close one, 37-32, at Quinlan Ford on Monday. They defeated Avery 37-23 at Avery on Tuesday. A scoreless second period hindered the Lady Lions against Quinlan Ford on Monday. In that game, Jocelyn Ochoa led the Lady Lions with 15 points. Chandler Bain had 8, Jordan Sestair 6, and Shelby Matlock, 3. On Tuesday, Avery was done in with a scoreless second quarter as the Lady Lions led 22-3 at the half, and that deficit just proved too big for Avery to overcome. Jocelyn Ochoa again led the Lady Lions with 10 points. Maddie Smith had 8 points, Christy Gurley 6 points, Shelby Matlock and Jordan Sestair added 4 points apiece. Christina Wade scored 3, and Chandler Bain had 2. The Lady Lions are now 4-6 for the season. Next, they'll host Celeste in Saltillo next Tuesday.
Okay. Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.